Greetings, fellow samurai and shinobi! I'm Wolf the Ronin, and today we're talking about Ghost of Tsushima! I'm sure you all saw the dedicated state of play from Sucker Punch's Samurai RPG. Today we're going to take a look at the presentation and analyze the combat, exploration, and customization. So let's not waste any more time and jump right into it. So to start things off, let's start with exploration. One of the key things that Ghost of Tsushima was working towards was immersion. They wanted you to feel like you were a samurai during the Mongol invasion. Then they also wanted to give you a feel like you were in an Akira Kurosawa film. One of the things they did to accomplish this was they removed the heads-up display. So you don't see your health, you don't see your items, you don't see a compass, and you don't see a waypoint. That was all taken out to really immerse the player. Not to say that the heads-up display will be gone forever. No, it'll pop up in certain situations, like if you need to fight, or if you're climbing, or trying to call your mount. The heads-up display will show up for a brief second and then disappear shortly after. As far as the waypoint was concerned, some people were getting a little worried, because some people were saying that they were going to be too busy with work and they weren't going to have time to sit down and spend an entire hour trying to figure out where they needed to go. And oh my god, Sucker Punch found probably the most creative workaround for this. So to avoid players getting lost so easily and relying on just visuals to get around the map, they came up with this really cool idea. You have this thing called the guiding wind, and what that does is it will point you to wherever you need to go. If you pinged something in your map, the wind will guide you towards that area, without breaking immersion and without breaking the theme. And in my opinion, this is probably the most creative way to get rid of a compass or a waypoint. Like, this is so cool. And something I noticed while watching the presentation is while you're riding, if you didn't push the button, the wind will still point in that direction. So it's really keeping you in the game and keeping the immersion there. And that is so awesome. I love that. It's so creative. And personally, I never would have thought of something like that. That is such a cool workaround. And what's even cooler is how you find extras and treasure and loot. Instead of having like a little icon on the map saying there's something over here, they're utilizing their world. So you'll be riding and you'll see like a bird, and the bird will then fly in a different direction. If you follow that bird, you're gonna end up at some extras and goodies. And then maybe you'll find a fox and it'll show you a shrine which you can then upgrade to get more charms. We're gonna get into charms. I'm seriously like ecstatic and can't wait to get out of like a really bloody fight, like this epic showdown. I'm bleeding out, I'm almost dead, I'm out of healing items, and then there's just this fox just ominously sitting in front of me. Then it scurries away, and then I'll follow it. Like, I'm waiting for moments like that. It's gonna bring up some amazing in-game stories. And who knows, maybe the fox can lead you to some danger, because we all know kitsunes are not the most trustworthy things. Foxes have a tendency to be a bit mischievous. So I'm curious to see if they're gonna utilize that in any way, shape, or form. And then let's say you already know what you're looking for, but you just need to pin a certain location. You can do so. You do it with a red leaf. And then I guess it follows the same wind process. I don't know if it's gonna have like a different color variation, differentiating, you know, your quest wind or your pinned location wind. That's all up in the air. See what I did there? Okay, I'll stop. And with that, we move into combat! Sucker Punch's goal with Ghost of Tsushima was to try and make the best samurai game that they could. So nailing combat was a must. If you guys remember, a little while back, I did a video on Ghost of Tsushima, whether we were going to be doing samurai or ninja. And essentially what I said in that video was that we were going to be able to choose between playing as a ninja, or the ghost in this case, or playing as a samurai, and that would be determined based on how we play. If we fight up close and personal, we become a samurai. If we hide in the bushes and do stealth kills, we become a ninja. If you guys haven't checked that video out, go ahead and check that out. I'm going to leave a link right here. I worked really hard on it, so please help me out with that. Thank you. And I was right, in a certain manner of speaking. So while you are able to determine whether you play more like the ghost or play like the samurai, there's a little bit of some complications that get a little muddled in their crypticism, if you will. Because what I initially thought is you were gonna have like a moral meter, like you know, like a kind of like a speedometer almost, and you got two sides, you got blue, red, or whatever. In this case, it would be samurai or ghost. And they have that, but it seems fixed. And they explain later in the presentation that the way you play will evolve into the ghost, and it's up to you how you evolve that. So a little cryptic, but kind of along the lines of what I was saying, sort of. It actually almost seems like we're gonna be in charge of how fast we evolve into the ghost. For instance, if you're gonna be like me and play more samurai-like, you're probably not gonna become like full-on the ghost until later, way later in the game. Whereas if you're playing more stealth-like and doing stealth throughout the whole game, you're going to become the ghost a lot faster. It also has to do with the customization of the gear you use. It's going to be adding gameplay advantages and gameplay mechanics to Jin, so I guess it's really, like I said, it's going to be all dependent on how the player plays. What about individual play styles? How does the samurai play? How does the ghost play? Well, let's get right into it. So, the samurai is going to play like your typical action game. You know, you got your attack, seems like you got a counter attack, got a block, got a heavy attack, and you got a dodge. One of the coolest mechanics about the samurai playstyle is we have a standoff mode. Not really a mode, but like a standoff feature. So essentially you're just gonna walk up, you push up on the D-pad, and then you hold triangle, and he's gonna ready his sword. And then you wait for the precise and perfect moment when he slashes. And then that's going to open up for the combat encounter. Others are going to jump in and try and kill you. You fight back, block, deflect, whatever you got to do. Then it actually seems that they're merging some of the two best samurai games that are already out there, Sekiro and Nioh. Because when you deflect or when you parry an attack that's incoming perfectly, you're gonna knock them off balance, and then you're gonna be able to take them down more quickly, which is, you know, a big nod to Sekiro. And then where Nioh comes in is you have three different stances. You have stone stance and water stance. Stone stance seems to be a lot more grounded, a lot more neutral, where you can kind of attack from all around. While water stance, it's hard to tell what the stances are gonna do, because water stance, you're holding your sword up high, but it's not really, I didn't see much use for it, other than the fact that there might be a rock, paper, scissor system being implemented. Because when the guy who was playing Jin was attacking the Mongol, he had a spear, and he was using stone stance to take out the spear. But then when Jin went up against a guy with a sword, he was using water stance. So maybe the stone stance is for spears, water stance is for swords, and then the unnamed stance might be for something a little heavier. I don't know. It would be really cool to see stances like this be used for this system, like this rock, paper, scissors system. I think that'd be really unique, and I would love to see how that changes the game. So that was the gameplay of the samurai. So now let's talk about the ghost. This is where the game turns into a stealth game, and where it gets its namesake, Ghost of Tsushima. So you have your typical stealth game mechanics, you know, you're crouching in bushes, hiding, climbing on rooftops or buildings or whatever, and sneaking around to best take out your enemy in the most fast and efficient way without being caught. The ghost has access to numerous items like firecrackers, smoke bombs, and kunais. You can use a firecracker to manipulate your enemy to get them where you need them to be. You can use a smoke bomb to quickly slip away without being detected, or you can use a kunai to get a quick kill. Even though kunais really weren't designed to make kills. I mean, it's good for annoying people, sure, but you can't kill with this thing. But that's just like a romanticized version of the ninja. But again, we're using the ghost in this case, and he's a ninja. He's a ninja, guys, come on. The ghost also shares some features that the samurai gets to use. For instance, you can still stand off against your opponents, and then you also have your stance change wheel. When I was watching the presentation, I originally thought that you were either going to choose the ghost path. I keep wanting to say ninja, but it's ghost. You can choose between the ghost path or the samurai path, but it seems they're interconnected. So it depends, I'm guessing it's depending on each situation and how the player wants to tackle it. And that seems to be the recurring theme here, is how you want to play. And I like that. I like seeing that kind of player choice in kind of an unconventional way. Like, it's almost similar to Infamous, but not quite. Because with Infamous, it was very one-sided. You're either playing the villain or you're playing the hero. And, I mean, you could interchange them, but you didn't get access to your abilities that way. But here it seems like you're gonna have access to everything you need, and then Sucker Punch is just allowing you to just choose how you play it out. For instance, maybe if you're having a hard time with a combat situation, you might want to retreat and then come back and do some stealth. What I found really intriguing about these two gameplay styles is the mission was the same. If you notice, the mission is destroy the shipyard, but the objectives were actually different. Because when you play as the ghost and you go to destroy the shipyard, you destroy the black powder. Whereas when you're playing as a samurai, you just have to defeat the Mongol commander or camp general, or whatever they're calling it. And I actually like that. I like how, depending on how you approach it, it's gonna change your objectives. And I'm hoping it's like a real-time objectives changing, where like, if it sees that you're gonna go for stealth, it then changes it to, okay, go destroy this. Or like, if you failed the stealth and you just wanna go all out, then it's gonna switch to, alright, kill the commander. I know for one thing, stealth is not my specialty. I'm good at stealth. I can do stealth if I really put my mind to it. But most of the time I end up getting caught by some random thing and I end up going all out. But what's that famous quote from Han Solo?
Bring 'em on. I prefer a straight fight to all this sneaking around.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Next up, we have the real fun part and the thing everyone loves in a good open world RPG. Customization. The customization is like kind of every other game. It allows you to make Jin look the way you want him to look. For instance, you can switch out his sedge hat, you can give him a headband, a ghost face mask, you can make him have a traditional samurai hakama, or you can give him more of a rural Ronin look, give him a cape, whether it be a kind of a scarf cape or a straw cape. You have so many options. And then there's also these dye flowers that you can find lying around, which will allow you to change the color of Jin's clothing. What it seems the limit is our imagination, and I can't wait to check that out. And the world looks massive enough to where we can do all these side stuff and be able to find all this stuff. Because they didn't really explain how you unlock them, but it's probably you find them by completing quests, finding lost shacks or whatever, following animals, doing all that. Along with customizing Jin's gear, we also have the Omamori charms, which will give you certain resistances or buffs or advantages in gameplay. For instance, there's one that allows you to heal over time while you are out of combat. There's another one that allows you to place wind chimes that when an enemy picks it up, they will become poison. And this sort of gameplay dynamic really gives the player the chance to really play to their own play style and make their Jin extremely unique. It almost makes me wonder if we'll be able to mix and match some of Jin's gear pieces. Like, for instance, if we put him in a samurai getup, and then we might be able to give him a ninja face mask or a ghost face mask, give him more stealth capabilities, or vice versa, give him kind of a ghost getup, but then also get him some samurai gear pieces to give him a little more of an edge in close quarters combat. I am totally adding a face mask onto my Ronin Jin. It's happening, okay? I'm getting the Hakama set up, the sedge hat, and then I'm giving him a freaking face mask. It's gonna look so cool. Can't wait to showcase that off. Speaking of showcasing, they also talked about their new photo mode. They talked about how we're gonna be able to move around particles, change the different flowers, the wind direction, facial emotions, and I was blown away with this. We're gonna be able to make like little videos or GIFs. Like we'll see Jin kind of climbing up with a grappling hook, and we might see his scarf just kind of flying in the background along with the wind and the leaves going by him. And it looks really cool, and I can't wait to start utilizing some of these. Then finally, but not least, they told us that we are going to be getting a black and white filter mode. I think it's called like Samurai Cinema mode or something, but what it's doing is it's turning the game black and white, and it's making it look kind of windy and grainy to make it look like a 60s samurai film. So, you know, something you would see from like Akira Kurosawa or the likes of that. But what's interesting is I only noticed this after I watched the gameplay thing a couple times, is it sounds like a 60s movie. Like, if you pay attention and you really listen, you'll hear kind of that, like, I don't want to say distorted, but almost like really loud and over-exaggerated slice. You'll see Jin kind of cutting, and then it'll make like a really exaggerated cut sound. But that is everything that we have learned from the Ghost of Tsushima State of Play. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more Ghost of Tsushima news. Whenever that comes around, I will be giving my piece on it and relaying it to you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Consider subscribing to the channel. It'll get you guys notified on whenever I put out future content. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like it. That helps me out a lot. Lets me know what you guys like to see. And I want to know what you guys think. I want to have a discussion in the comment section below what we're thinking about Ghost of Tsushima. Are we excited? Were we underwhelmed? Are we not even interested in the game? I want to hear everything from you guys, and I will try to get to every single one of you. But thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, I'll check you guys later. Game on.